Welcome back to yet another episode of the Savvy Affair Hub podcast. Yes, we are back from a short impromptu break, and I have to say that when it comes to me and taking breaks, it's always the same scenario. I don't really plan for them, especially when it comes to taking a break from content creation, from social media, from podcasts. I don't really plan for it. I just do it when it feels right. And the same happened now with the podcast as well as somewhat with my social media presence. I haven't been around as much since I think middle of July, but honestly, I don't even know when was that moment when I took a step back. But it's been a while. I think it's been a month or so. As mentioned, it didn't really happen in a pre-planned way. Usually if I know that I'm gonna take a break, either I'm going on vacation or actually taking a break for whatever reason, I would pre-plan for it and I would actually plan the content, plan the podcast and so on. So you wouldn't really particularly feel that I have gone away. But then once in a while comes this moment when I really just kind of disappear without a trace. And all for a good reason. It just felt right, it just felt needed, and honestly, it's been amazing. Now, another thing I wanted to get out of the way before we dive into today's episode is the video podcast episodes. So, I don't even remember how many episodes ago, but a few episodes ago, I decided to start doing video podcasts. And honestly, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy showing up on video, and I hope that I will get back to it. But right now, my priority is making sure that I actually show up here and do the audio podcasts first. And then, if I will feel like it, I will go back into video podcasting as well. Because, as I mentioned when I got started, and as was my fear, as much as I love video podcasting and video creation in general, there often are those times, those days, sometimes weeks, when I just don't feel like showing up on camera. So now I feel like not showing up on camera would then be stopping me from actually recording the podcast episodes, right? And that's not something I want to really give in on. So here we are recording audio podcast. It might go back into the video format as well. We'll see. Can't promise a thing at the moment. Here we are, and I'm excited to be back. Today, let's talk about launching in September. So I know I'm kind of late with this episode. It's probably something you may have started thinking about already a while ago. But September is coming, and in many parts of the world, it's that period of time when everybody is getting back to business, your vacations are ending, you're getting more active, you're more interested in actually maybe achieving the goals that you didn't achieve just yet this year. You want to maybe get something done by the end of the year, so there are many different touch points here. And there might be many different perspectives coming into September. For many, September is one of the most productive times of the year. Kids may be going back to school. Whatever is the case, whatever is the scenario, September is when many things happen. So if you have been thinking about creating a product or launching or relaunching or creating a special offer specifically at this time of the year, let's talk about it. So, is September in general a good time to put out an offer? I would say yes, and in fact, it is one of the best times if we look at a year as a whole. It is one of the best times to actually launch a product, to get more active in your promos, to launch special offers, to open up doors to whatever it is that you may be creating. And specifically, September and October both are very active months. Again, in most cases, because we're just coming back from vacations, we have that summer boost. For many, that autumn before it hits full winter is really just all about achieving things, right? So of course it also depends on what your product is all about, right? Because some offers do focus on specific seasons, but if we're talking about the general gist of launching in September, it is a good idea. So here are a few things that I would consider. Now, if you already have an offer on your hands, and I know that I have several clients who have created their offers over summer and now they're either about to launch or they're kind of thinking about launching. And if you are in the same boat, you may already have an offer. Maybe it's already fully done or like you're almost there with it and you're kind of holding on to it because maybe August didn't really feel right for the launch. Now is the time to put it out there. However, I would definitely wait it out a bit longer because the first week of September definitely is a lot of rush, right? A lot of things are happening. If you're sending out emails, if you are launching something, if you're putting out like a 7-day offer or something, people may miss it. There are many social media users, especially if they are business owners themselves as well, that may be coming back to social media now in September. This means that the social media space will get a bit busier. People will be more present there as well. So with more people coming back, there will also be more eyes on your content potentially. But you also have to know that there is going to be a bit of a rush, right? There's going to be people coming back saying, oh, hey, I'm back here. There's going to be people coming back with that enthusiasm of having more content, creating more content. So there will just be a bit more noise and you just have to be aware of that. The same goes for emails. Some people haven't really opened up their emails. I wish I could be one of those people. Some people haven't opened up their emails like through the whole August, right? And now if they're coming back the first week of September and they're reading all the emails, you don't want to be buried in all of that. So ideally, what I would do with a launch, if you already have a product and you are waiting for the perfect moment to put it out there, or you want to create like a special offer, to celebrate autumn coming or whatever is the case, I would definitely slightly wait it out, maybe until middle of September. If I would have to pinpoint like the perfect time to launch anything, like specifically start that period of special offer, I would think about it as middle of September, early October kind of a thing. But if you already have your emails scheduled, if you're already like full speed ahead, go for it just as well. But maybe give yourself a bit of a breathing room and step a bit deeper in September than you may have anticipated at first, because again, that first week it will be just a lot of different things happening. Not everybody will have the ability to like catch up with everything, right? And I have to say that as I'm talking about all of this, obviously all of this is very general. Your audience might be very specific. Like if you have, for example, you are targeting your product at moms, right? Whether or not they're busier than they were a week ago really depends on where you are, right? I know some places where the school has already started. I know some places where the school is just yet to start in middle of September, like Spain, right? So it really, really depends on your audience, where you're located, and what is happening in people's lives currently. But I'm talking like generally, if we're looking at a launch, like a global kind of a launch at different audiences, that's kind of my approach here. Okay, another thing I want to talk about is if you want to open doors to a product that will be somewhat a live experience. Either you are creating some type of a group coaching program, or maybe there will be some calls included. Maybe that you're providing weekly Q&As or weekly coaching sessions, whatever is the case. You also want to be mindful about the calendar further on. So if you are opening doors to starting an experience, for example, in October, launching through September is the ideal time frame, and then starting in October is kind of perfect, because then depending on how long is your program, of course, if it's longer, it might be a bit different. But if it's like 4-6 weeks, maybe it's 2 months, we have October, we have November to kind of easily work through. November also can be a bit tricky with Thanksgiving and all kinds of other celebrations, but in general, October and November are somewhat more peaceful than it will be later on, right? So I would really just suggest you to open the calendar and consider that user experience. Because if you do have some kind of a longer program, you want to see where these dates fall when it comes to November, when it comes to December, right? December is that tricky bit where everybody is again like in the holiday mode, and that's why this last quarter can be just a lot of different things. It can be great to launch right now. It can be great to launch October. This can be very productive and great time, kind of November as well, but then December just cuts it off, right? So you just want to be mindful about that timing. You want to be mindful about what your users will be going through, and also understand that your launch, even if you decide to launch now or let's say November, your launch is just the beginning phase of your sales, right? It's not a make or break kind of a deal unless you're actually opening doors to something. If you are launching an evergreen product, your launch is just the start of it, right? And if right after your launch there's a period of time when you know people will be busy with other things, it's okay, right? You can always circle back to it later down the line. Even if you are just now creating a product, like you haven't started yet, so now you're thinking maybe launching November, maybe even December, it can be fine. But at the same time, know that a lot of people will be prioritizing buying other things, right? A lot of people will be prioritizing traveling for Christmas, buying Christmas gifts, preparing for celebrating in general, so their funds might be going elsewhere. And again, it totally depends on the person, right? And it absolutely depends on your ideal audience. Maybe your ideal audience are people who spend Christmases alone, right? That might be a completely different discussion, but in general, that is the time to just consider and keep in mind if you are going into the process of creating and potentially soon launching a product. Then in between it all, we also have Black Friday to consider. So Black Friday will start at the end of November, and this also marks that start of the period where things kind of get a bit more hectic. I definitely wouldn't plan to launch anything through Black Friday. There's just too much noise online. Everybody is offering something, creating some kind of promotions. So I wouldn't really launch a new product then. I would definitely try to do it at least a month in advance of the Black Friday, because the mailboxes get really busy in this time of the year, and I really just wouldn't want to overwhelm your audience with like more to consider. Plus, if you launch early November and then the Black Friday comes, there will always be that lingering question on people's minds. Will the offer on Black Friday will be better than it's gonna be now? So they might not buy right away. They might postpone that purchase thinking that Black Friday might come with a better deal. So this Q4 really is complicated on like several different layers, but then it all just circles back to the simple fact that yes, September and October are great times to launch. Now let's talk about the game plan. If you don't really have that product just yet and you would like to launch potentially in October, right? September, the timeline of September can be perfectly enough for you to create a product. If you are interested in exploring exactly how to turn your product idea into an actual offer, like an online course, maybe a workshop or anything alike, you can check out your Product Launch Lab. Inside this program, I walk you through everything you need to know to plan, create, and launch your offer. And this is the type of program where I have really zoomed in on the things that matter. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want you to give like long lessons to walk through. I want you to give specific action steps to focus on, specific things to consider as you are creating your product, and really just help you to move forward faster. These days, there's really no need to waste your time trying to figure things out. So if you are thinking of launching your product, make sure to check it out. September, around 4 to 5 weeks, can be perfectly fine timeline for you to actually come up with that product. Depending on what type of an offer you are creating, and of course depending on how busy you are day to day, whether or not you actually have the time on your hands to get it done, realistically 4 weeks usually will be perfectly enough to create the content, record it, and get it to the finish line. So along with that, you have the potential to still launch in October, even if right now you don't have a product just yet. You can also start a pre-launch in September. So if you are working on a new product and you know it's coming soon, you can actually start teasing it to your audience, either to your mailing list or to your Instagram followers or any other social media following. So you can already start talking about it late September and then, for example, launch mid-October. Okay, with all of that being said, I will wrap this episode up. I really feel great coming back into podcasting. I can't wait to send this out to you. If you have any questions, if you have any specific topics you would like me to discuss, you can always reach out to me on Instagram at Course Creation Lab. If you are ready to plan, create, and launch your own first product as well, make sure to check out your Product Launch Lab. And if there's anything else you want to chat with me about, I'm always happy to hear from you. That will be it from me for this time, and I'll see you in the next episode.